What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Watchtower podcast, the non-Jehovah's Witness Watchtower podcast, where we get together every Tuesday and Saturday and watch for the returning signs of our Lord. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but I am done with the world and I am ready to go home. I don't know about you, but yeah, we're going to talk about a few things. This is episode 123, Clipped Wings. And yeah, we've got some stuff to talk about. Going to be kind of an interesting one. Probably start off with something a little controversial, but it needs to be talked about, and then we'll move on to some other things. So we're going to be talking a little bit about Jim Caviezel and an interview that he had, and we're going to be talking also about some stuff involving Angel Studios and, of course, that movie Sound of Freedom. Yes, I'm going to go there. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to be talking about, if you guys haven't noticed, Twitter is now X, and we're going to be talking about that as well. Plus, we've got some other biometric stuff, including things from biometric ATMs to some stuff with Amazon with their Palm Pay, as well as their satellite stuff, which they're talking about. And we'll probably top it off with a new system coming out that scans your veins for your identification. Biometric vein scans. That's right. They're going inside of us now for that. So we'll be talking all about that stuff. But first, I want to get you guys involved. I want to see what you guys are doing and how you guys are doing on this Tuesday. So I'm just going to pick a random spot, and we're going to start right here. What's going on? Viking Loves Jesus. Good to see you. Glad you are here. Looks like we've got just Vicky as well, saying hello to everyone. Good to see you, Vicky. Hopefully you're having a good Tuesday. Caterlin is here. And Caterlin, I hope you brought enough cookies for everybody. Because I'm sure everybody wants more than one tonight. So good to see you, Caterlin. Looks like we've got DJ Betty Lou. Yes, what's going on? Oh, you know, the usual. Carly is here too as well. Hopefully you're feeling better. Yeah, I know you're dealing with a headache and back and stuff, so be praying for Carly, you guys. Also be praying for Kim. If you guys noticed, Kim is not here tonight, and she was not here last time either. She is dealing with some severe health stuff, so be praying for Kim. Yeah, she's I don't know if she wants people to know the details, so I'm not going to give the details, but yeah, be praying for her. Looks like we've got Emmanuel. Oh boy, you're doing it with a name here. Emmanuel Dominius Sihombing. Sorry, I butcher things. I butcher names. That's just how it goes. No disrespect. Glad you are here, though. Good to have you here. We've got Mrs. John Johnson. Good to see you. We've got Joanna Wallace as well. Good to see you. You are tired from work. Yeah, well, feel free to take a nap. You know, no big deal there. We've got Derek Otto. Good to see you, Derek. Hopefully you're having a good one. Not of This World is here. Good to see you. We've got Patricia Holtz. Always good to see Patricia. And there's my mom. Hello, Mom. Hopefully you're having a good one. Coco Bear is here as well. We've got Jika Soon, Jick Soon. Randy here as well. Good to see Lavera. Misha is here as well. Matt, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. I can't get to everybody. We'd be here all night if I was to do that, so I can't get to everybody, but it's good to see everybody here. Hopefully you guys are having a good Tuesday. I don't know, it feels like this week just won't end, and it's only one day in there. I don't know about you guys. I'm ready to go home. But we've got a job to do while we are still here, and it's important that we focus on that, and we're going to go ahead and do that tonight. But before we do that, we've got just a tad bit of housekeeping.
Housekeeping?
No, thank you. Sleeping.
Housekeeping?
All right, so as far as housekeeping, usual spiel. If you guys can, like, share, subscribe, get this out to as many people as you can. It is not about views. It's not about butts and seats, but it is about getting the warning out to people of what is coming and what is going on and getting people to Jesus and Jesus to people. That is why we do this. We need to make sure that that is our focus now more than ever. Time is running short. I don't know about you guys, but 'tis the season for the rapture and time's running short. So we got to focus on the main things that we need to do. Also, if you guys can, follow me, Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram. I know the day is coming. YouTube's going to kick me off. Surprised it hasn't happened already. But when it does, Rumble will be my backup streaming channel. Odyssey is there. Break in case of emergency type of deal. Telegram for everything in between. If I do get kicked off, I'll let you guys know on there. And I also post other stuff, news, announcements, memes, stuff like that. Just whatever I feel like posting at the time. So I will do that. So follow me there if you guys can. And coming up on Thursday, this Thursday, I always get jamming when I'm on when I play that. So yes, this Thursday we've got the first annual, I guess we could say, the first one that we've done. It's going to be the Watchmen's Hangout. This is going to be a time for us just to get together, laugh, have some fun. I've invited a few people on to join me. We're just going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I've got a ton of memes, funny memes that we can all show and laugh together. I've got Kim from Life Clip. She's going to be joining me. Vindog from Vindog Radio is going to be joining me, and Jeremy Reed, Pastor Kurt Reed's son, he's going to be joining me as well. And we're just going to have a good time. I know there's been some questions about where it is. It's here, same channel, same place. It's nowhere else. It's nowhere different. So don't get confused and think that it's in some other secret location. It's not. It's going to be right here, and it's just going to be fun time. I don't know how long it's going to go. Probably maybe an hour, or just depending on how it goes. But yeah, we're just going to be having fun. We're going to be talking to you guys. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll do that. And yeah, it's just going to be a fun time. It's a good time to relax. I know there's so much pressure on what's going on, but we do need just a fellowship every once in a while. Just enjoy each other's company and not have to stress about things. So it's going to be a good time. So I am looking for that same bat time, same bat channel. Oh yeah. All right. That's enough Batman for this channel. We'll just go ahead and move on. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into this. And it is Tuesday. And we're going to go ahead and talk about just a few little natural events before we get into everything. We always keep track of larger earthquakes that have happened over the week, as well as what's going on with the volcanoes. My volcano guy is back, so that's good. But this past week, as far as earthquakes, larger earthquakes, just keeping track of what's going on, there has been 6.3 in El Parmacito, Mexico. Then there was a 7.2 in Sandpoint, Alaska in the United States, followed by a 5.7 in Sandpoint, Alaska, United States. 6.6 in Loncupe, Argentina. 5.6 in Ternate, Indonesia. 5.6 in San Patricio, Mexico. 6.5 in Intipuca, El Salvador. 5.7 in Ohanua, Tonga. You'd think as many times as I've said Ohanua, I would just be able to flow it right out, but doesn't work that way. 6.0 just south of Fiji, and then a 5.5 in Ponte Makassar, East Timor. It's the best I got. I don't speak Romanian. As far as volcanoes, as of Sunday, there are 47 volcanoes actively erupting around the world. That's a little bit higher than what we've been watching the past couple months, where it's usually about 42 to 45, so just a few more. 7 in North America, 7 in South America, 2 in Europe, 3 in Antarctica, 5 in Africa, 14 in Asia, and 9 in Oceania. So, yeah, we just keep track of earthquakes and volcanoes because we know those are signs of the times as well. Those will increase not only in size, but in frequency. And so we just keep track of the trends to see what is going on. All right. You guys ready to do this? You guys ready to get into this? Okay. We're going to start off with this, just like the Band-Aid, just rip it off. This is a controversial subject, and I don't think it should be, but it is. And so I'm going to talk about just all-encompassing with the Angel Studios, Sound of Freedom, Chosen, Jim Caviezel, all of this type of stuff. Yeah, it's just anytime I've noticed that there was a period of time, if you talked about The Chosen, the majority they got offended about it. Now people are starting to see what's going on with it. Same thing happened with when you talk about the modern worship music. People seem to be opening their eyes on that as well, and I'm hoping people will open their eyes on this as well. So I want to address again all of this stuff. I've seen a very common theme in replies to anyone who says or brings up anything negative about Angel Studios, Jim Caviezel, Sound of Freedom, and all this stuff. I've gotten comments and emails, and I've read the replies to others on other channels as well. You guys would not believe some of the comments I received after I did a very short thing where I just said, just look into and question the funding of Angel Studios specifically. Some of the stuff I got back was pretty horrifying. I said from the beginning that sometimes the truth is a hard pill to swallow, and no matter what, I'm going to speak it. That's something that right before I even started this thing, that was my main goal. That was my focus. I said, no matter what I get in response, no matter what I get back, I'm going to speak the truth on these things, and that's just going to be how I roll. And I've stuck to that to this point, and I'm going to continue to do it this time. Now, again, I'm talking in my perspective. This isn't about me, but I'm talking in my perspective of this subject. Now, first off, I have done several episodes dedicated entirely to speaking on pedophilia and trafficking. You can find a trafficking playlist on the front page of my channel. I'm very outspoken and upfront about this entire subject. I've also gone very deep into this subject, deeper than I wish I never wanted to, but I did. And I got to a point where I had to stop going any further into it because of how deep this thing really goes. So right off the bat, because this is one of the main things that I was told, where I just don't care about pedophilia and trafficking. That is a straight up lie. You can go to the front page of my thing and find multiple episodes dedicated to these subjects entirely. So no, that's a lie. I'm very, very aware of what this is, and I'm very upfront about one of the things that we need to stand for is child trafficking and pedophilia. I've always been that way. Followers that have followed me for a very long time, they know that as well. So if I'm warning about a specific thing involving that subject, that should tell you that maybe I have seen some things that's not right about it because of how I hold this subject. Now, I received numerous comments when I spoke about Angel Studios funding, saying that I don't care about the kids, I don't care about trafficking, that I support pedophilia, and I have even been called a couple times a pedophile myself because of that video. Personally, I don't care about the name calling. I don't. I care about truth. But several comments were from people that I've known, and they know where I stand on this subject. So I'm not sure what switch flipped in their mind because they know where I stand on this, which tells me that there's something about this movie that isn't correct, something about the studio that isn't correct, something about Jim Caviezel that isn't correct. There's some type of mentality attached to this production where the blinders go on simply because of a subject or the experience they had with it. This is the exact same thing that happens when The Chosen show was on. It's the same thing. You try to warn them about anything, they will viciously attack you because of they like that one thing. There's something, a spirit about what is coming out of Angel Studios that causes people to have this reaction. Because it has the biblical tag, anything attached to it doesn't matter, and Satan's main focus is to attack that mindset. So when you just strap a Christian tag on there, when you give a Christian a good experience, even if a fellow brother comes out and says, you might want to look at this, they're not going to look at it and they're immediately going to attack that brother. This is the mindset Satan wants when it comes to this type of stuff. Now, here's some hard truths about this. Angel Studios is a Mormon company, period. And we know all about Mormonism and it's going to send people straight to hell. It is blasphemy, it is heresy, and it is of Satan. And this company is Mormon. And it is backed by loaded men who have invested interest in very evil things. Much of the funding for Angel Studios comes from people directly invested in artificial intelligence, transhuman technology, which we know that is a major point of Mormonism, and Elon Musk ventures, and we'll get to him a little bit later. The people who fund Angel Studios are all wrapped up in that type of stuff, which we know those are things that are involving the beast system. Sound of Freedom sat on the shelf for 5 years before being released. Their publisher was Fox, which Disney bought Fox, and they put it on the shelf, and then it just got released at a very interesting time. Why is that? Election time is coming up upon us, and we're seeing a lot of specific names now starting to hit the spotlight again. And Caviezel, Jim Caviezel, who stars in The Sound of Freedom, has some very curious words about this. This is an interview he just recently did with Fox about this. Pay attention.
Jim, this is more than a movie for you, right? I mean, could you talk about what it means, $85 million at the box office already, but could you tell everybody out there what it means playing Tim Ballard?
Well, first of all, I had to be chosen by this guy, and he did. He saw The Passion of the Christ, he saw The Count of Monte Cristo, and I, took it, and there are two lines in that film. Yeah, but the opening line when he talks to me says, God's children are not for sale. The second line is that when God tells you to do something, you don't hesitate. And $100 million later, here we are. I mean, we just passed that number last night.
We're living a dream. This is the Mexican dream and the American dream together. Because when two Mexican filmmakers, Alejandro Monteverde, the director, and myself, the producer, meets with two American heroes, Tim Ballard and Jim Caviezel, when we meet and we shake hands and we work in the project, what are the results? Sound of Freedom. What happened when the bad guys of Mexico and the bad guys of America comes together? What happened? What is the result? Child trafficking.
And we could be doing more, right, Jim?
Oh, yeah, we have to do a lot more. And we got to start with Donald Trump.
What do you mean?
Well, he's got to be in there because he's going to go after the traffickers.
Do you think he understands that?
We were with him last night.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so he's going to be moved to do something. I didn't know that.
Oh,
he was in tears last night.
This is the new Moses. I mean, I'm still Jesus, but he's the new Moses. Pharaoh, let my children go free.
All right. I did not know that was an impressive screening at Bedminster, I guess.
Yeah.
Eduardo, Jim Caviezel, great to see you again. Yeah. Congratulations on all your success. I can't say I'm surprised, but I know how intense you are. And good job.
This is the people's movie. God bless you.
Absolutely. Meanwhile,
Two things. I'm sure you guys caught the last thing, but I want to point out the first thing. The entire subject of that interview had nothing to do with kids. That entire subject of the interview had nothing to do with stopping child trafficking. The entire subject of that interview had to do with how much money it made and Trump being the new Moses. Where's the focus? Money and politics. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's entirely what this is about. Caviezel is declaring Trump as the new Moses as he jokes about being Jesus. As we know, he played Jesus in The Passion of the Christ. You still do not joke about being Jesus. You don't do it. And you certainly do not call Trump Moses. He said Trump is the only way that they're going to be able to stop this. Trump didn't stop the trafficking before, just like he didn't drain the swamp from before, because he is a part of it and is actually involved with inbred trafficking family, the Rothschilds. I pointed that out already and I made that connection. Not to mention, and I know a lot of people are trying to argue this fact, but the fact is Trump was very good friends and business partners with Epstein and his club. They can try and deny it and hide it all they want, but Trump is a part of it too. So this notion that he's going to be the Moses and get the children out is a lie. We've also got the fact that the Mormon Church and the Catholic Church, who are both heavily involved in Angel Studios and these movies, they created a movie about child trafficking, but are extremely involved in child trafficking themselves. You can go and look this stuff up. The Vatican even had a guy who was known as the Catholic Epstein, because that was his job, was doing that in the Vatican, in the Catholic Church. It's the whole illusion of, hey guys, look, we're making a movie about this awareness. Just don't look at what we're doing over here. Yes, awareness about child trafficking is very good. And it's very important. But do you honestly believe that this movie will take down child trafficking? I want you, if you're a supporter of this, I want you to honestly ask yourself that question. Will you, going and buying a ticket, sitting in a theater to watch a movie about child trafficking, and then going home to talk about it online, is that going to stop child trafficking? Is Angel Studios and all of the investors who have their money tied up in AI, transhumanism, and Elon Musk stuff and all of these things, are they going to take the dollars that they just earned from Angel Studios and are they going to put it to fight child trafficking? If you're answering these questions, yes, it's going to stop this, you are lying to yourself. It's not going to stop this. To stop child trafficking, you need to shut down the CIA, you need to shut down the Vatican, you need to shut down Ukraine, you need to shut down the Rothschilds family, you need to shut down the Rockefellers family, you need to shut down the Clintons, you need to shut down all of Epstein's club because they're still very much active. You need to shut down all of the modeling agencies, not just in the United States, but worldwide. You need to shut down Hollywood in its entirety, etc., 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 etc. It's not going to happen. Now, a lot of people, again, they're going to take the words that I'm saying on this and say, you're not helping in this situation. You're for the thing. You're against awareness for the... I'm none of that. What I am is somebody who understands the situation that's going on right now, looks at how everything is all connected and where the money flow is going and who's involved, looks at the times that we're living in right now, and I understand that going and sitting in a movie theater to watch a movie about child trafficking, making them money, is not going to fix it. There's also this notion, this idea that the world didn't know that this stuff was already going on. People are aware of child trafficking. They just didn't want to think about it. But again, we're at a point, just like I say with politics, and like I say with child trafficking, and like I say with what's going on in the church and the one world religion and the things with technology and the border stuff and on and on and on, we have to understand the times that we're living in now. Now, I'm not saying lay down and die. That's something that I never say. You guys know my stance on politics. But you also know my stance on standing up for children. And that people want to take on this fight of child trafficking when they can't even get to their local school board meeting to try and raise a voice about what's going on in their own schools. As much as I don't like the guy, and I understand he's one of those people out there, Jordan Peterson makes a very good point when he says, before you can change the world, you have to be able to clean your own room. You have to be able to clean up your own school first before you can start going out and trying to shut down these people. And watching a movie is not going to shut them down. What is actually taking place is when you go and you bought that ticket, you are funding Mormonism, you're funding AI, you're funding transhumanism, you're funding Catholicism, you're funding this stuff, which doesn't go to solving child trafficking. I know it's a hard truth. It's a hard pill to swallow. But this is exactly what is happening. You know the term follow the money? That applies to this situation as well. Again, when you go back to the interview, the first half of that entire interview was talking about how much money that they're making. It had nothing to do with kids. And then it switched to politics. I've also seen this notion that because someone, again, bought the ticket, that they're making a difference in this area. You experienced a very real and horrifying subject in a cinematic form built to draw emotion while giving you a sense of accomplishment because of the attacks and abuse that are being dished out against it in the mainstream media. When in reality, all of the attacks that the mainstream media had against this movie did nothing but increase the money flow to them. Follow the money. All of that bad publicity is good publicity. And it not only increased the money flow, they added theaters and showings because of it, increasing the money again. Here's the thing. The money being earned is being funneled into the Mormon faith, a one world religious production of The Chosen, and the pockets of investors funding beast system groups and technology. Child trafficking can have awareness and warning and be fought against without funding the enemy. It can be done without funding these things. I heard an interesting comparison where we were discussing how people are willing to look past all of these things just because it's a good cause for awareness. They're willing to look past everything because it's a good cause for awareness. So I'll ask you this question if you're one of those people. Would you also donate to the mafia because they threw an event dedicated to bring awareness for childhood autism? Truthfully answer that question. If you wouldn't, why not? It's a good cause for awareness and for children, and we should look past all of the producers' shady business because of that alone. Am I wrong? Because that's what we're doing with The Sound of Freedom, is we're looking past all of the shady business being done by the people who own the rights to that movie because it brings awareness. So we should be donating and funding the mafia's event for childhood autism. It's the same thing. Some people want to look at that and go, that's a ridiculous argument. No, it's exactly the same argument that people are making for The Sound of Freedom. It's the exact same argument. It's not ridiculous at all. The only fact is, mafia is killing people's physical bodies here in the world. Mormonism and Catholicism, they're killing the spiritual bodies for eternity. That's the only difference. Again, I'm not trying to attack anyone or pick on anybody. I don't ever talk about this stuff to do that. I always come with a very heavy and sincere heart when I do these things. This has actually been a tough one for, I'm not even reading this. This has actually been a very tough one for me to want to talk about. The past couple days when I was doing my notes, I've been sitting here throwing it back and forth in my mind if I should even open this can of worms. Been praying about it. And in the end, I decided that it needs to be talked about because I think the Lord wants me to talk about this in the reality sense of it. And I'm not trying to attack anybody. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. But I've seen the same effect on people for years when it comes to the modern day worship music. It's the exact same effect. And I'll give it in this example. Just because Bethel, we all know Bethel, just because Bethel writes a song that is biblically sound lyrically, doesn't mean that we should support Bethel by using or buying that song, even though it's a sound song. We should avoid it entirely because when we use that song in church, when we buy that song, when we stream that song on Spotify, We are giving money to Bethel, which we know all of what they're doing behind the scenes. So just because that one song is lyrically okay, doesn't mean that we support the people who produced it. Now, this is usually where I get the arguments of things like, well, our food and our cars and our clothing and all of this stuff are all corrupt, but yet I still buy them. That's usually the argument. If watching this movie or anything from Angel Studios nourishes your body, keeps you from being naked, and gives you a way to go to and from work, go for it. If not, don't be cute about this. This movie will not provide those things for you. We have a choice every time. We have a choice about what we support. And if you're going to sit there and claim that going and buying a movie ticket for Angel Studios is the same as getting food, clothing, a place to live, and a car to drive, you really need to take a hard look at where your priorities lie. Because those aren't even in the same ballpark. They're not even in the same ballpark. Right now, Satan's influence on this world is growing rapidly. And we have to understand he will use anything, and I mean anything, he can to increase his hold. And that includes getting Christians to flood theaters to see a movie about child trafficking in order to keep the money flowing to those who are enemies of Christ. And I know a lot of people say, well, God can use anything too. He certainly can. But we still, who know better, should not actively support the groups that we know are not good. There's a big difference. So don't get cute with that argument either. Narrow is the way, and we must be aware of Satan's tactics. We have to be aware of his tactics. Don't put the blinders on to the bigger picture, especially when there's just no benefit to it at all. There's no benefit to it. You go to a movie, you fund these groups, you get your emotions riled up, you have an experience, you get your heartstrings tugged, you go home, and nothing gets accomplished. It's just fact. And I know sometimes it's hard to hear it like that. But that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what I got as far as that goes. I know that's a heavy one to just start out on this, but I think it's just way too important. I think it's just way too important. And we need to have a firm grasp and understanding of what is really going on around Angel Studios in particular. And you look at, again, that interview, Jim Caviezel throwing this in, who's a devout Catholic. He worships the Pope, and he's also a Freemason. He's up there promoting Trump. And I'm not going to turn this political, but Trump is not who people think he is. There's way too many things about this that just scream Satan's got his hands on it. Don't fall into it. Don't fall into it. Okay. We're going to move on from that. You guys good? You there? I haven't even been looking at the chat. I can just imagine what's going on with this. Oh boy. But yeah, we're going to do that. So, man, I wish I had something like a palate cleanser. Here we go. We'll segue it this way. We'll kind of turn this a little bit heavy. Let's do it. All right. Yeah, usually I end the show with things like that, but I decided to start it with that. So let's just get back into this. Let's talk about Twitter. Let's go from that to Twitter. If you guys don't know, Twitter became X past couple days. It finally switched over. This is something that Elon Musk has been talking about, working on for a long time, very long time. And we're going to kind of talk a little bit about this. I've talked about this stuff in the past, but I think it's important just every once in a while to kind of get a refresher about what's going on. So Twitter has now become X, the X app, x.com. The logo's changed. If you go to x.com, it actually takes you to Twitter. It'll redirect you over there. And so they are beginning the change to Musk's target project of creating the everything app. That is his target. He specifically has said he wants to create a global WeChat. Now, if you guys don't know what WeChat is the app, the central hub that pretty much controls China's whole system, the social credit score system. All of the camera network and everything is attached to that. They monitor your social media. You can do payments through there. You chat through it. You can do all these things through WeChat. What Musk wants to do is copy that, make it bigger and global. He wants to have more stuff on there. Now, if we take a trip back to 1999, let's go back to 1999. We will see. We're going to party like it's 1999. Okay, sorry. If we go back to 1999, we will take a look at what his focus is on this. And yeah, it's interesting. Take a look at this.
I'm much more interested in trying to build and create a new company.
So this is an ATM. What we're going to do is transform the traditional banking industry.
I do not fit the picture of a banker.
X.com, this is Julie.
Raising $50 million is a matter of making a series of phone calls, and the money is there. I've sunk the great majority of my net worth into X.com, which is the new banking and mutual funds company on the internet that I've started.
Big X.
Exactly. X.com.
I think X.com could absolutely be a multi-billion-dollar bonanza. Because if you look at the industry that X is pursuing, it's the biggest sector of the world economy.
Biggest sector of the world economy. His main goal is really with this thing, financial stuff. He's made that his focus from the main point. It's all about getting an entire global financial thing set up. I mean, even if you go back into his past when Musk was a part of PayPal, you can see the X card. It was on there. It was a part of his deal. He wanted to merge PayPal with X. Obviously, that didn't work, but that was definitely one of the focuses that he wanted to do on that. So it was the focus of X, economy, financial, banking. You see the PayPal and stuff like that. But he's also talked about, again, the global WeChat and the financial economy system. That never changed. So we look back at 1999, but what if we take a trip closer to where we sit now? Has his focus changed on it? Not at all. Take a look at this.
Essentially, if done right, the X would be would serve people's financial needs to such a degree that over time it would become, I don't know, maybe half of the global financial system.
Wow.
Or some big number.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the number is, but pretty big. So it would be by far the biggest sort of financial institution. But like I said, not really in the way that people are used to thinking about banks.
Mm-hmm.
Just the most efficient database for the thing that is money. Like I said, like least amount of fraud. Everything's real time. And if it involves money in any way, it can be dealt with seamlessly on one location.
Cut off at the end, but the last word is location. In that, 50-second video, there was a lot that he said. I mean, a lot, if you pay attention. Here's some of the quotes in that specific interview that he said. He said, it's not really in a way people are used to thinking about banks. He wants to make X a thing where people are not used to thinking about banks. He wants to reinvent the banking and financial system. That is his whole goal with it. And so he specifically said it's going to be different than what people think about at banks. He also said X will be a database for the thing that is money. Database for the thing that is money. there's some very curious ways that he's being very general about this. He's not specifically talking about banking. He's not specifically talking about things like a Cash App or something like that. He's not talking about anything like that. He's also not talking about dollars or cents or money, cash. He doesn't say any of that. No, he's talking about a database for a thing that is money. So we're seeing that his goal is to jump on board with what we've been seeing as far as the financial stuff, CBDC, instant payment transfer, all of this stuff. He's merging those things together. Then he also said real time. Well, there's your instant payment transfer. So he's talking about real time. Then this last part is the one that really gets me. He says, if it involves money in any way, it will seamlessly in one move, one location. One, if it involves money in any way. I mean, he said he wants it to be at least half of the global financial system. He's talking about creating a one global financial system utilizing his X app. You're seeing what he's trying to accomplish with X as far as this economy and the money and finance and banking and all of these things. He wants to put it all in one. Now, these are specific words that fall in line with what we know with prophecy when it comes to the one world economy that's coming. One world money, one world economy. Now, here's another thing to think about. Bank for International Settlements is working on a project that can take a CBDC from one country and be able to instantly switch it over to a CBDC from a different company if there is cross-border payment going on. What if X is what that marketplace is? You now have not only currency around the world that acts like one currency, but now you have a marketplace that works around the world that acts like one economy. That's something to think about when it comes to this. And he even promoted in 2023's World Government Summit. That's right, Elon Musk was at the World Government Summit, where buying Twitter was the accelerant for his Everything app. Now, this one's a little bit longer. It's about 2 minutes, and he's very boring to listen to, but try and pay attention the best you can.
How do you see Twitter? If we say 5 years down the road, what's your vision for this platform? What should it do?
Well, I think it'd be, I'd like to, have this sort of long-term vision for something called X.com from way back in the day, which is kind of like a sort of like an everything app, where it's just maximally useful. It does, payments, it does, so it provides financial services, provides information flow, really anything digital. And also provides secure communications. So really I think be as useful as possible, as entertaining as possible, and also to be like a source of truth. Like if you want to find out what's going on and what's really going on, then you should be able to go on X, the X app, and find out. So it's a sort of a source of truth and a maximally useful, I guess app is about the wrong word, but system. And Twitter is essentially an accelerant to that sort of maximally useful everything app. I think the trying to have as many organizations and people and institutions verified as being legitimately those people and organizations is important, and to have the organizational affiliation clearly identified, so that if you want to find out if somebody's actually, if an account is actually, say, from a member of parliament or a journalist, or let's say if a Twitter handle is actually belongs to, say, Disney Corporation or something like that, you can go on Twitter and it's sort of an identity layer of the internet, and you can confirm that is in fact the case. And I think once you've got these sort of interlocking
sort of identities, it's actually very hard to be deceptive in that case.
All right. So there's also a lot of good nuggets in that interview as well. Something that he said, of course, is payments, financial services, information flow, and communications. So he wants all of that working in tandem with the X app. Payments, financial services, we just talked about that. Information flow, he's talking about how it'll be the source of truth. If it's a part of the beast system, I'm not sitting here claiming anything because a lot can change very fast. We know that. But if this is truly a part of the beast system, when it comes to X being the source of truth and it's in control of the Antichrist, well, it's going to be his truth. It's not going to be the truth. So something to keep their communications. That's not only communications for us, like what we see now with Twitter, where people are able to post things and direct message each other and stuff like that, but also communications to get other systems to communicate with themselves as well, especially if you have AI in control. Talk about that in a second. He said identity layer and interlocking identities. That's just mumbo jumbo for digital ID. That's what that is. It's already on there. If you want to get paid for advertising from Twitter, you must verify yourself utilizing your ID and a biometric picture of your face. So he's already got that cooking in there as well. And also, when X launched, the WEF girl and the X formerly known as, Prince at this point, but X formerly known as Twitter. This is going to get confusing. The CEO, Linda Yaccarino, also gave us an interesting bit of information. Now, if we take a look at this, there's a lot in this as well. She says X is the future state of unlimited interactivity. Okay. Centered in audio, video, messaging, payments, and banking. Audio and video is a lot of things, guys. That's news, that's YouTube, that's Spotify, and anything in between. Creating a global marketplace. Didn't we just talk about how this could be a global, one world economy marketplace? Creating a global marketplace for ideas, goods, marketplace for ideas, interesting, goods, services, and opportunities. That's all encompassing right there. And here's where it goes, powered by AI. But I thought Elon Musk signed the thing because he wanted to slow down AI. What's going on with that? No. Theater. It's all theater, guys. But this is the kicker to finish it off. X will connect us all in ways we're just beginning to imagine. X will connect us all in ways we're just beginning to imagine. Connect us how? Connect us how? With a mark? Something to think about. Now, again, I don't like to do the speculation stuff. I'm not going to sit here and go, this is it, guys. Here it is. I'm not going to do that. I'm just giving you information that I have on this, and it's something to watch for. It's something to watch. Doesn't mean it's it. It's just something to watch. Pay attention. See what happens. I know there's a lot of people that are like, well, I don't have Twitter, so I don't care. Yeah, you should still care. You should still pay attention to what comes out about it. Because you never know what it might be, what it might lead to, what might be revealed from it. There's a lot of reasons why we shouldn't just throw something out because it's not something that we're a part of. We should still pay attention. I don't have Facebook, but I still pay attention to what Mark Zuckerberg's doing, what Meta is doing, what all these things are doing. I mean, look at what happened with the Threads thing that came out. So it's, even if it's something that you're not a part of or you don't care, you should still just every once in a while check in, see what's going on with it, because you never know what this might lead to. Because remember, and I said this when I was on with Kurt on Sunday, I think it's very important that we remember, when it comes to this technology, specifically like the Mark of the Beast technology, say the rapture happened right now, and say tomorrow, Antichrist, the 10 kings came out, the war, the Ezekiel 38 war happened, the Antichrist rose up, and the covenant was signed tomorrow. Let's just say all that just magically happens. And it starts the 70th week. There's still another 3.5 years of development on this stuff before it actually comes out. Look at what has happened in the last 6 months. Imagine what's going to happen in 3.5 years when the restrainer is gone. You just never know what this stuff might lead to. If you take a look at X, and I know a lot of people, I'm just going to go ahead and say this, I don't have it written down, but I just want to throw it, I was thinking about this earlier. I don't ever speculate on what X means. Could it mean something? Certainly could. I know every time I do anything about this, I get multiple comments from like 5, 6, 7 different people who all say, this is what X means, and they all have different opinions on what it is. X means a lot of things, guys. None of us have any idea if it means something at all, what it means. We can have theories about it, but I don't recommend going around and saying, this is what this means, when there's 15 other ideas that it could mean that all also fit as well. So I just want to throw that in there. I'm fully expecting to get a bunch of comments from people going, this is what X means. Does it? We don't know. It's fun to speculate, but don't sit there and say that that's exactly what it is. Just saying. But if you look at X and you look at Starlink, you are creating quite the beast network of economy and connectivity. Now, if you add in a marketplace, he's talking about making it a marketplace, but if you add a marketplace in there, you're creating quite the network of one world stuff on it. Now, Musk and Yaccarino both talked about, and I played this the last time we talked about it. I'm not going to play it again because it's long, but I've got another video if you want to check it out about the X app. But Musk and Yaccarino both talked about X being a global marketplace. They want to create a place where you can do all this stuff. You just saw her tweet. She said the same thing, wants to be a global marketplace. Now, think about this, though. What if X united with Amazon? It could happen. You want to talk about the biggest marketplace in the world right now, combining with the X app, you've got one wicked, and I use that word specifically, one wicked economy marketplace right there. Digital on top of it. But what's interesting is Amazon is now getting into the satellite game. This is interesting. Got a little short video. Check this out.
I've had the opportunity to visit many different communities that have all the amenities in the world that you can think of, and communities that don't. And when you come across communities that don't, you kind of go, what can I do to help? If you build a global network, if you provide global service, you can start to bring people closer, get them more information, impact their lives in a positive way. That's why I'm here on Kuiper.
What Amazon is committed to do with a $10 billion board commitment to build the constellation and the commercial communication network they're going to build in space with the 3,236 satellites will bring broadband to any point of the planet.
Just what we need, Amazon satellites. So this is Amazon Kuiper, even though it's spelled Cooper. Let's say how they say it, Kuiper. Anyways, Amazon Kuiper. Amazon is launching their own broadband satellite system. And there's also a rumor going around that they're going to launch a cellular network to go along with it as well. Now, Amazon, this was several months ago. They came out and denied that they were going to do it. Yeah, I think they're still going to try and attempt it at least, but that's my speculation. We're not here for speculation. Let's keep going with what we know. They just announced a $120 million facility in Florida. Amazon's Project Kuiper will build a 120 million, not billion, but million satellite processing facility in Florida. This is in addition to Amazon's facility in Kirkland, Washington, which will begin production by the end of the year. So the one they're getting ready to build this one. But the one that they already have in Washington is looking to start production on satellites by the end of this year. So this isn't something that's way down the line. This is something that they are starting right now as we speak. The goal, the dude in the video said it, the goal is to launch 3,236 constellation satellites, with at least half of those launched by mid-2026. Project Kuiper so far has about 10 billion. Amazon's putting up 10 billion in backing for this project. So we're seeing, again, they're already behind when it comes to Starlink. So Elon Musk's got a Starlink thing out there. He's got, I think I read he's got 91% world coverage now. Like just a couple months ago, he was at like 70 something, but now he's got like 91. It's up, I think it's up there in the lower 90s now. Coverage of the entire world with Starlink. And now Amazon's looking to get their thing in there. And we know, and we've talked about it in the past, Amazon has got their, I can't remember exactly what the name of it is, but it's their network system that they're getting ready to put in all of their Amazon hardware. So it doesn't matter if you've got the Fire Stick, if you've got their Echo, you've got their Alexa thing, if you've got an Amazon smart home thing, if you got the Ring doorbell, they're getting ready to launch this network where all of those will be able to bounce network connectivity off of each individual thing and send it to the next house. So if their satellites don't cover a specific part of the world, or like a city or a street or something like that, they'll be able to send the signal down to something in your house that you have of Amazon, and it'll be able to bounce over to your neighbor's house in order to get their stuff online. Yeah, they're trying to connect everybody's homes together as well. And so this is all going to work in tandem as far as that goes. But if you look at what Amazon is doing, they're already the biggest marketplace in the world, digital marketplace in the world. You got that. They're getting ready to launch their broadband. I can never say that. Broadband satellites. And then you've got Elon Musk, what he's doing with X. He wants to make that the biggest financial system and the biggest economy system. With his Starlink, you're looking at quite possibly, if those two were to unite, which again, it's possible, that's a pretty freaky system for global one world economy that we know they're working on. Now, again, we can sit here and this is what we're looking at now. These are the things that we know are happening, but that doesn't necessarily mean that all of these things are going to be exactly what we think they're going to be. It's important that we understand it because technology can change so fast. And we know there's at least another 3.5 years. So just imagine with each passing day, how fast artificial intelligence, how fast technology, how fast all of this stuff moves. Just imagine how quickly things could change. But that still doesn't mean that we don't pay attention to these things as they come through. Because all of this stuff is bananas. I don't know. We'll go with that. It's all bananas. But again, stuff we got to pay attention to. Now, with Amazon, we're not done with Amazon. I'm sure a lot of you know about the Amazon One, which is their Palm Pay. I'm sure all of you guys have at least watched somebody who's shown the video. I've shown a few videos. Everybody else has shown videos of these Palm Pay things. The Amazon One. I actually have a picture right here if you have been living under a rock and you don't know about it. It's Amazon One, but going along with Amazon is they're making their moves to make sure every Whole Foods store in America has their Amazon One Palm Pay system in there by the end of the year. So they announced that that's going to be what's going to happen at the end of the year. All of Whole Foods in the United States, not globally, but in the United States, will all have this in there. Currently, 200 Whole Foods stores have this in the United States. And again, guys, even if you don't shop at Whole Foods, we still got to pay attention to this stuff because this all leads to other things. Because I don't shop at Whole Foods either. But yeah, we got to pay attention. But currently, there's 200 Whole Foods stores in the United States that have it, along with Panera Bread stores, some of them. The Hudson Airport Coors Field Stadium, which is the Rockies baseball stadium. And there are other individual Amazon stores, which they've got brick and mortar stores as well as stores in other airports and whatnot. So they're looking to expand this to as many of those stores as possible, but also all of the United States Whole Foods. Amazon is also focusing on expanding their global Whole Foods store Pompeii system. That is a mouthful, as well. So Whole Foods isn't just the United States; they're out there as well. We also UK has got them going on over there. Aldi's, we know, which they're not connected to Amazon, but Aldi's is even bringing in these things as well. Airports are all over the place. Stadiums are doing it. It's all about, again, convenience. It's all about getting you on board, killing you with convenience. Give up your privacy, including what makes you you, for convenience. And people are doing it. And I know there's some stores where you can't even enter the store unless you do it. So first, it's voluntary. Then it becomes mandatory. That's just how it always goes. Same old tricks, different day. But I'm going to move on from Amazon. When it comes to banking, economy, and biometrics, the world continues to move at full sprint, and Argentina is one of them. Now, again, I know sometimes when you hear things like Argentina, which I don't know if there's anybody from Argentina. If there is, what's going on? Good to see you. But Argentina is one of those places where it's like, okay, why are you talking about something in Argentina? Because usually when you see things in these other countries out there, things start spreading, whether it's that system itself or another company developing something similar to it in another country. And right now, Argentina has rolled out biometric ATMs. That's right. Draw your money out, you're going to have to do biometrics as well. They're rolling out biometric ATMs, which sits in 90% of the country's ATMs already. They're getting ready to finish off that last 10%. This, again, attaches your biometric data to your bank account, giving full control of your money, and basically lets them track, trace, and turn off your money at any time. So again, we're talking about all this biometric stuff that's going on everywhere. Iris scans, your body, your face, fingerprints. I mean, it's everywhere, and they're putting it in as many things as possible. And again, they are doing it from the avenue of convenience. Just like the Amazon one, you don't need your card anymore. You just put your fingerprint on the scanner, smile at the camera, and it'll bring up your account and you can withdraw your money. So you don't even need to put your card into the ATM anymore. Don't need it. Just like Amazon thing, you don't need your phone, you don't need your card, you don't need cash, you don't need any of it. Just scan your palm and you're on your way. They're doing the same thing with ATMs now. Utilizing RedLink, which, man, they're involved with a lot of things, I'll tell you what. Utilizing RedLink and the Diebold Nixdorf technology. Yeah. What's amazing is Diebold Nixdorf is actually an American company. What? Okay. So utilizing RedLink and the Diebold Nixdorf technology, these machines have basically almost taken over Argentina entirely. Now, Diebold has even boasted this technology has personalized marketing involved with it, which again, you're starting to see the predictive programming situation like in the Minority Report. Minority Report, everything is personalized. You walk into the mall, it scans your eyes, and the advertisement that pops up is personalized. Well, they're going to do something similar to that with the ATM. Now, I don't know how you would personalize marketing with ATM, but they're working on it. But I pretty much just want to talk about when it comes to biometrics, though, this is a thing that's going on. I mean, you see it, even if it's not biometrics, you see the same thing on your computer. It learns what you like, what you've been looking at last, and things like that, and it'll bring up specific search things, specific advertising for you. This is the Google AdSense thing where it learns about you so it can then feed you more stuff for you to buy. Follow the money. Again, follow the money. And so they're talking about with ATM and personalized marketing as far as that goes. Again, there's a few ideas that I had on it, but I don't have anything concrete, so I'm not even going to go there. But again, more of this utilizing biometric, utilizing more of this studying you in order to personalize things. Now, I don't know about you guys. I don't want personalized anything. So stop it. But to a lot of people, it makes it convenient for them. You're sitting there having a conversation with your friend about toasters. You open up Facebook the next minute. The first ad that pops up is about toasters. Happens all the time. It's always listening. Now, we've seen some major steps being taken with ATMs before, specifically in America, as far as the reverse ATMs. Now, I've talked about this before, where you actually put money into the ATM to get a prepaid card. So they're trying to offer more technology to get people off of cash because they want to be able to track and trace and control your money. And so if you put your cash into the machine and get a card, well, there you go. You just basically traded your money for something that they can track the whole time. So that's always going on. But yeah, this is fully about the digital money takeover. This is fully about being able to get as many people over into trackable and traceable financial situations, whether it's a biometric ATM or a reverse ATM. Both of those increase their agenda for getting people on this digital money. So yeah, again, this is in Argentina, and I'm sure it's other places too. I just didn't find it. But we're going to see this grow. Now imagine if both of those come together. Biometric reverse ATM. You use your biometrics to put your money in and get a prepaid card. It's going to happen eventually. They'll combine that stuff eventually. Soon there won't be any ATM at all. So it's just, I'm surprised we're still adding ATMs at the moment with how fast things are moving on the financial thing, but they could quickly take care of that. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. All right, so for the last thing, this is probably one of the most freaky things that I've seen, at least this week. I've seen some pretty freaky things, but for this week, this is probably the freakiest thing that I've seen. We're seeing something from a company called Keyo, 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 and they are taking us to the next level of biometrics by introducing the, oh my goodness, Wave Plus palm vein scanner. I got a short little clip. It's really short, so I want to let you guys know, don't blink. You'll miss it. So here we go. Playing it now. All right, so I know a lot of people are thinking that looks like the Amazon One thing. Yeah, it does look a lot like it, but this thing is a little bit more advanced because what this thing does, it actually scans the vein patterns in your hand to verify your identity. It's not scanning your palm lines like the Amazon One. It's not scanning your prints and your palm lines. It's scanning the veins that run throughout your hand. It's like an X-ray type of thing. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know because it's not an X-ray, but there's a machine where you can scan like muscles and veins and stuff. I don't know what it's called. I'm sure somebody in there knows what it's called. But yeah, it's doing that now. So this palm scanner scans the vein patterns within your hand to verify your identity. Keyo, the company who makes this, the Wave Plus, currently has 20,000 devices globally already in retail stores, corporate offices, hospitals, stadiums, resorts, and airports. These scanners can be placed on a desk or mounted on a wall and can be used as keys, ID checks, sign-in sheets, payment processing, ticket retrieval, and more. It just says and more. So I don't know what and more is. I don't know what else you want to do with that, but maybe it'll take you out for coffee or something. I don't know. But I mean, you guys want to talk about getting invasive on this biometric stuff. We're getting to the point now where they're scanning things inside of us, but this isn't the only thing that they have either. Getting back to this though, they also tout that this machine as well can be used to verify identities in time of crises, however you want to pronounce it. This thing can be used in that situation or in wartime or political strife. How? They say if a body A dead body needs to be ID'd, and there's no need for any wallets or a family member to confirm the identity. If you are in the database and you are a body, they can just take this thing, scan the palm, and they don't need a family member to ID you. They don't need to look at your wallet for your ID. If in that case, if you don't have one, this is how they can identify who you are by just scanning that, because it just reads the vein layout inside of your hand. Keo also praises its security, saying it's a military-grade security where anyone can lift a fingerprint or palm print. This system stops that because somebody cannot steal the veins from within your body. So they're saying this is the next level of security, because anybody can just lift a fingerprint or a palm print. I mean, we've all seen, spy movies and stuff. You just need a little bit of talcum powder and a thing of Scotch tape and boop, got it. But seriously though, this is what they're saying. It's the next level security of this biometric stuff, because people can't steal your veins. And so they're saying this is the perfect way to stop fraud, by scanning inside of somebody's body. So right now, when it comes to fingerprints or biometric stuff, you've got fingerprints, iris scans, facial recognition, body biometrics. We talked about the IARPA's Breyer thing, where it's all about your body. Heartbeat scanners. This is what I'm talking about. They have the technology where they can actually shoot a laser at your chest to read your heartbeat and identify who you are. Because in case you guys don't realize it, everybody has a unique individual heartbeat. Kind of like we have individual fingerprints as well. It's the same thing with our hearts. So they actually have something where they can shoot a laser and read your heartbeat. Not joking. So you got fingerprints, iris scans, facial recognition, body biometrics, heartbeat scans, and now you've got vein palm scanners. I'm sure they've got other stuff too. We just don't know about it. The Beast biometric identification system continues to get more and more sinister each and every day. Again, I can only imagine what else they've already got to identify us. And now they're at the point where they're going past the skin, going inside the body. They're just getting awfully close to just planting a mark on somebody and calling it game over. And again, we know we have at least 3.5 years before that happens. That's a long time for them to perfect what they want all of this stuff to do. Wrap it up in a nice little pretty package, put the bow on it, and hand it out to anybody willing to pledge their allegiance to the Antichrist. But as Christians, we don't have to worry about that. As Christians, we're not going to be here for that. As Christians, we are not to fear that. We're not to fear any of this stuff. All of this stuff that we talked about, Amazon, CashApp, satellites, biometrics, digital money, one world economy, mark of the beast, all of that, we don't have to worry about any of it. Because our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ promised us, and he always keeps his promises. He promised us he's going to take us out of here before the Father starts laying the smackdown on the earth. So it's important that we understand that. It's important that we keep tabs on all this stuff, because we are called to watch these things. But it's important to understand that we're not going to be here for this. We need to use this information not only to keep tabs on where we are in these end times. 'Tis the season. And as these things increase, we know that rapture gets ever, ever closer each passing day. But we also need to take this information and warn others about what is coming who don't have Jesus Christ. Tell them what's coming, but also tell them about Jesus. Now they may accept Jesus on this side of the rapture, or they may remember some of the things that you have told them about on the other side of the rapture, which you then connected to Jesus, and they may find the Lord on the other side. Because as we know, right now we're seeing the great falling away, but on the other side we're going to see the great revival. Well, we'll be up looking down, because we won't be here for that, but the great revival will be taking place. And there's going to be a lot of people that have heard the warning. Like I said, we are to give the warning, get people to Jesus and Jesus to people. A lot of people are going to remember the warnings that we've given them, and then they're going to get to the Lord afterwards, because they're going to realize, wow, that dude was right. That chick was right. The Bible is right. I accept Jesus. So it's important that we do both things. That's what we're called to do in these times right now, these last days, these end times. That's our responsibility. Send out the warning, spread Jesus. Because not only are we trying to get as many souls across that finish line right now before the rapture, we got to plant seeds for those who are going to be left behind on the other side of the rapture. And we got to make sure that we focus on both of those. Now, if you don't know the Lord, you're watching this and you realize, wow, I had no idea, but now I do. And you want to accept the Lord, well, it's as easy as ABC. It's easy as ABC. It's childlike faith, it's childlike trust. He makes it simple. It's a gift. He came to us to offer that gift. We don't have to go to him. We just have to just open the door. He's right there. He says, I stand here and knock, waiting for you to open that door. A is you admit that you're a sinner. This is important, because to have true belief in Christ Jesus the Savior, you have to first admit that you fall short and need one. Otherwise, why would you believe in a Savior if you don't believe that you need one? So A is you admit that you're a sinner. You come to the Lord with a repentant heart, knowing you fall short, knowing that you have sinned, knowing that you need Jesus Christ, the one and only Savior that can get you to the Father. He says that. The only way to the Father is through me. So you admit that you fall short. B is you believe in Jesus Christ. You believe that he is the one and only Son of God. You believe that he came down 100% man, 100% God. He lived the perfect life. He died on the cross and rose again on the third day, defeating death. So much so that we actually have the ability, and Paul tells us, we can taunt death because our Savior has beaten it for us. Death, where is your sting? Now, this is important to understand. This is between you and God. This isn't reading the story, reciting the sinner's prayer, and going on about your day. Knowing and believing are two different things. So you must truly believe in Jesus Christ. And C, as you call upon the Lord, I always attach it to that prayer where you say, Lord Jesus, I have sinned, I have fallen short, and I need you to save me. I believe that you died and rose again for my sins. Come into my life and save me. And if you truly believe in Jesus Christ, he will save you. Do it before it's too late. Do it before it's too late. If you're not willing to do it now, remember some of the things that I have said and others have said that you listen to. And when millions disappear and these things start to come to reality, you'll know exactly what's going on, and you know that you need to get to Jesus Christ. All right, looks like we've got a couple of questions. I will do the best I can on this. Okay, JC and me, Natalia, says, what do you think about the movie Nefarious? They showed it at church. I was not in agreement or attendance. Appreciate your opinion. Thank you. Oh boy, we're gonna have a lovely one on this one. I have not seen it. I will not see it and I don't recommend anybody do see it. I know there's some Christians out there that will say you're nuts. I recommend it. That's fine. I just am not in the position of, I don't believe that we should be opening a door or inviting those types of spirits around us. I know several people who they have delved into things like artificial intelligence, watching Nefarious and stuff like that, and they have started having weird things happening around them. And I think if you start opening those doors, it doesn't end well. So I am not in the camp of recommending Nefarious, but that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Let's see. We got Deb Sabota. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. Hey, Deb. Can you please tell me the date you addressed Vivek in one of your talks? Oh boy. Let me look real quick, and I'll see if I can throw it in the chat. Let's see here. Videos. Give me 1 second. I'll see if I can help you out with that, Deb. There it is. It's about 1 month ago, but I'll throw the link in there. If you're not here, it was 1 month ago. But if you are here, here is the link. There you go. That should be the one about Vivek and Peterson. And that's all the questions I got. All righty. That's it, guys. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Thank you for hanging out with me. Looks like we're getting out of here on time, so that's good. But yeah, I appreciate all of you guys. I really do. I love all of you. You guys are my family. You really are. And so I'm thankful for all of you. And yeah, guys, remember Thursday is going to be the Watchmen's Hangout. It's going to be a good time. Again, we're not going to be doing all the prophecy stuff. It's not going to be heavy. It's not going to be any of that stuff. It's just going to be us hanging out, talk about food, talk about dogs, talk about movies, talk about memes, funny stories, whatever we want to do. We'll just be hanging out, chilling, relaxing, all cool, shooting some b-ball outside of school, all that stuff. So yeah, that's on Thursday. So join us for that. Again, that is here. That's going to be here on this channel. It's not anywhere else. It's going to be here. Also, if you guys can, like, share, subscribe. Get this out to as many people as you can. Not about views, not about butts and seats, but like I was saying, it's about getting the warning out to people, getting people to Jesus and Jesus to people. That is why we do this. So if you guys can, like, share, subscribe. That does help do that. Also, follow me at Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram when YouTube kicks me off. I know it's going to happen. Going to get the big boot. I'll be streaming on Rumble as my backup channel. Odyssey is my in case of emergency, and Telegram, anything in between. And if I do get kicked off, I will announce it on there. Also, if the Lord places it upon your heart and you would like to support this ministry, I do have donation links down below. CashApp, Venmo, Give, Send, Go. I truly appreciate every single donation that comes in. So I thank all of you guys. And I pray every time I get a donation, I pray for you because I'm so thankful for you. And I also do accept prayers as well. So if you guys want to pray for me, that is fantastic. So I thank you for that. Thursday is that show. And then I think that's it. So if the Lord does not come back by Thursday, which I'm not used to saying that, but if the Lord does not come back by Thursday, I'll see you guys here, 8 p.m. Central. And we'll be laughing it up and having a good time. So I'll see you guys then. Peace out and Maranatha.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.